Back to Real Estate Talk as we come to the top of the hour, friend. Remember, everything you do in real estate with the right team around you will change your life to the good. I wholeheartedly recommend, if you're buying or selling a piece of property, get to know Heather, 855-732-6700. Again, get to know Heather, 855-732-6700. You can go to owntx.us. And when it comes to a guy that you want on your side, Michael P., 214-532-2092. You can go to stratainc.net. Carry on. I'll just touch on that little thing that I asked about a while ago.
Okay, so basically a really good rule of thumb for our tenants that want to just keep like organized financial records is so when you pay your rent, just do it as consistent as you can. So if you mail your check on the 25th or the 26th or 27th of every month, add a reminder in Google Calendar or set up your auto pay to make sure that it goes out. And then also, when you pay your rent, make sure that the amount is consistent. So if rent is $1,500, make sure that the check every month is $1,500. Sometimes, a lot of times, like tenants have roommates, and maybe the roommates have like a utility split type deal.
Well, in other words, what you're saying is make sure it's consistent and don't, 1 month is $1,200 because my brother-in-law gave me $400 cash.
Right. That's right.
You want to be consistent.
You don't want to do that because it's not to say you won't get approved for a mortgage whenever you're ready, but just keep it simple. Make it easy. It's better for your own budgeting, and it's better for when you have to pull the records and prove to the lender what the rent was. Okay. So if you have this kind of switched amount, then you want to go deposit that $400 in cash in your bank and then make the check for the $1,500, or write 2 checks. Write one for rent and one for utilities to your roommate.
I got a better idea. If they're confused, they can call Heather at 855-732-6700. Let's carry on with the rest of Michael P. We only got a short period of time.
Okay, Michael P. So we're still talking to our investors out there, and we're kind of halfway through our checklist.
Important stuff. Install smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Number 1, they're required.
Yes.
Number 2, it can help prevent the house from burning down.
Yes.
Number 3, it can prevent human beings from burning down. So, very important. Also, if the smoke alarms that you have installed have battery backups, put in your lease that the tenant is expected to replace the batteries when they start beeping, because when they start beeping, it means that the battery is running low. Very important. It will protect human lives and your property.
And those always take those, are they V9 batteries, Michael?
They're usually 9-volt batteries.
Okay.
In most modern houses, the smoke alarms are built in. They are on a house circuit. But in older homes, it is very common to find smoke alarms with battery backups.
Do you recommend that the landlord, when they're doing that, supply a fire extinguisher to that tenant?
That is not required. Well, there could be some issues of liability from people who do not correctly use the extinguisher. So I would advise the tenant to actually consult with a legal advisor to decide if this is a good idea or not. Unfortunately, we live in a litigious society.
Yeah.
And you have to, unfortunately, factor that in and get good legal advice before you make any changes that would affect somebody's safety.
Okay, what does this fire extinguisher cost?
You can buy one at any hardware store for $30.
So it might be easier to just put one in rather than talk to a lawyer about it, right? If you're going to consider it.
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. No, it never hurts. Okay, so that's a good one. Michael's crazy about these smoke detectors because how many times, Michael, in a property do you see the smoke detector yanked from the ceiling and you know exactly what happened and why?
And they usually yank them down because the the thing was beeping to tell them I need a new battery. And in order, because they didn't know it needs a new battery, they just yanked it out from the ceiling to make it stop beeping.
I just did a rehab property and I put 10 in there.
Yeah, yeah. And
I got them in every room.
that's right. It's
times
important
2.
because they do expire, don't they? About every 10 years, Michael?
Yes.
Okay.
Whether the smoke alarms work or not, my advice is replace them at least every 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carbon monoxide detector is big too.
And then another, yes, it is very important on properties that have gas.
Even in houses that do not have gas service,
What?
but
Yes.
but houses that have an attached garage.
Oh my, why?
Because the car.
The people let cars run in their garage, and I have seen many times do-it-yourselfers who install air supply registers in the garage because they want the garage to be air conditioned. What they don't realize, though, this is an avenue of gases to travel back into living spaces.
Yep.
Okay, that's a great tip. I had no idea. Okay, one final tip on these.
You learned something on your own show?
Yes, hello, I love it. Okay, one final tip on these smoke detectors, because again, Michael is so crazy about these. Every inspection I've ever done with them, he always talks about the smoke detectors because they are so important because, again, they're only there when you need them. And the CO detectors too, because that's the silent deadly gas, isn't it? It's odorless and colorless.
That's right.
It'll kill you. So in college, did you know I had a situation where my roommate and I, we went to bed. We were awoke by about 3 a.m. by the carbon monoxide detectors going off. There was a leak in the house. It was about a 100-year-old house in college. And anyway, so isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so thankful for that. And we would have never known. We could have died in our sleep, not to be morbid, but that's what happens. It is. So very important. But the last tip is, so a lot of times, Michael, when you see these smoke detectors yanked from the ceiling, it's because usually they're on the integrated circuit, right? So when one beeps, the people change the battery and the one beeping in the master bedroom. But then what happens? The other ones still beep too, and people just lose their mind because it always happens at 3 in the morning, and so they just rip it out.
And just never put it back
That's
on. They
right.
never find out why it was beeping in the first place.
So a good tip is when one beeps, change the batteries in all of them.
Yes.
And I know that's not going to be a 3 a.m. project, and you got to do what you got to do to get through the night.
And
But-
the newer CO2 detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and smoke alarms, a lot of them don't have any batteries, or they have the type of batteries that last for 15 years, for 10 years. You never have to replace them. But the older style with replaceable batteries are still out there.
Okay.
Guys, I'm coming to the top of the hour. I want to do a couple things here real quickly. I want to thank Michael for taking time out of his day to come down on a Sunday. Michael P. is a great guy, very knowledgeable about real estate. And I want the listener that stayed with us during this hour, write his number down, 214-532-2092. Again, 214-532-2092. Will you come back as a repeat offender, Michael?
I would love to come back and talk to you some more.
Yeah, absolutely. My friend Heather Anderson, what a great real estate agent. If you're looking to buy or sell, this lady, get to know her. 855-732-6700, 855-732-6700. Or she got this great website you can go to called owntx.us. Heather, I enjoyed this show like you wouldn't believe. I thought it was very informative. And at the end of the day, it did coincide with when I say real estate will change your life to the good. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So you got a great real estate agent this hour and a great inspector. I'm going to close the hour out by saying, remember in 2017, we're going to do great things. Home is where the heart is and where your children are. And in respect to that, remember in your life, prepare the child for the path, not the path for the child. You think about that. I'm your host, signing
Most
off
excellent advice.
for another edition of Real Estate Talk. And that's a wrap. We're out.